Hello everyone, my name is Jack and this is Homebrew Heroes, where I share with you all some homebrew content for the game Dungeons & Dragons. Today I'll be going over the Final Fantasy XIV companion book created by Reddit user SilentSoren. This is a massive project that has been worked on by Redditors and players for over 3 years, resulting in a guidebook filled with races, classes, and spells based on the popular online fantasy game, and remade to fit into any campaign setting. Even if you've never played the game, there is something here for everyone. I'll be breaking down this module bit by bit throughout multiple videos, starting with the races and spells that you can bring into your world. If you want to jump to a certain topic, the timecode should be on screen now. Also, I don't have any experience with Final Fantasy XIV, so I don't know how faithful these races and spells are when they were converted from the game to 5th edition. You can correct and belittle me about them in the comments below. If you're interested in these spells and races, the link to this compendium can be found in the description below. With that said, let's begin. The first race from this guide is the HYUR. These are tall, scaled creatures that may look intimidating, but they are actually the most valuable allies you can ask for. Each race has 2 sub-races, with the HYUR's sub-races being the Zela and the Rain. The Zela are dark-skinned HYURs, traveling as nomads and living life free-spirited. The Rain are lighter-skinned HYURs that live amongst society, living on the importance of the servant-master relationship. Their priority is the safety of their family and tribes, which could be a reason for them to go off adventuring. Maybe it's to look for missing family members or undertaking a task from their master that drives them off into a new adventure. For the stats, the HYUR get a +2 bonus to Wisdom, a proficiency to Perception, and a +1 to Armor class, even if they're unarmored, due to their scales. Even though their height can go as high as 7 feet, they are still considered as medium creatures. The subraces also give you some nice bonuses too. The Nomadic Zela get a +1 bonus to their Strength, proficiency to Survival, and the feature Savage Attacks. This lets them add an additional damage die to their weapon's damage roll if it was a critical hit. The Civilized Rain get a +1 bonus to their Charisma, proficiency to Persuasion, and advantage on saves against being charmed. The ELEZEN are the elves of Final Fantasy XIV, but with some slight differences. They are a prideful and arrogant bunch, which have caused the 2 ELEZEN factions to separate and move far away from each other. The Wildwood ELEZEN stayed in the forest, protecting it from intruders and from harm. The Duskrite ELEZEN moved into the slums of the city, resorting to criminal activities to survive. They could leave their homes to protect it from outside forces, or to seek out fame and fortune to provide to their families and themselves. Although the ELEZEN and elves share similar appearances, that can't be said for their traits and features. ELEZENs get a +2 to Intelligence and advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing. ELEZENs are taller than the elves, going between 6'8" and 6'3", but they age like everybody else, living up to only around 90 years old instead of 750. The Wildwood ELEZEN get a +1 bonus to Dexterity, a proficiency to Insight, and the feature Hawksight, which increases the normal range of their ranged weapons by 20 feet. Duskrite ELEZENs get a +1 to Constitution, advantage on stealth checks in caves, and Dark Vision. The HYUR are the humans of the world of Final Fantasy XIV. They came in a great migration from the north 1,000 years ago, and they spread themselves out across the land, making up the majority of the world's population. There are 2 kinds of HYUR. The Midlanders live at sea level, coming in all shapes and colors, and the Highlanders live up in the mountains, and are stronger than their counterparts due to rough living conditions. The HYUR walk all ways of life, so it's only natural that some want to go on adventures and become heroes. The HYUR's traits are slightly different than the traits of humans. They get a +1 to 1 ability of their choice, a proficiency to 1 set of artisans tools, instrument, or gaming set, 2 skill proficiencies of their choice, and 2 additional languages of their choice, alongside common. For subraces, the Midlanders gain a +2 bonus to Intelligence, and another language of their choice, while the Highlanders get a +2 bonus to Strength, and a proficiency to Athletics. There's also another kind of HYUR called the Pajal, a rare kind of HYUR that grow white horns on their heads, which is a sign that they were blessed by the elementals at birth. These kind of HYUR gain a +2 to Wisdom, and a proficiency to Nature. The next race are the LALAFELL. These are the masters of agriculture and make a living traveling and selling their goods across the world. These 3-foot-tall traders come in 2 different types. The plains folk work on the farms, selling their produce to support their families, while the dunes folk remain in the desert, making a living in the art of animal husbandry. They also have a unique naming system, as their names have to follow a rhyming scheme, depending on their subrace. These creatures will take on the call for adventure if it will support their families, ambitions, or their riches. The LALAFELL are more in line with halflings than gnomes when it comes to their traits. LALAFELLs and halflings gain advantage to certain saving throws, have similar height and speed, and have a nimbleness feature that lets them move past larger creatures. LALAFELLs also gain a +2 bonus to charisma, but they can only live up to their 80s, as opposed to the halfling's age limit being their 2nd century. Plainsfolk LALAFELL gain a +1 bonus to dexterity and naturally stealthy, a feature that lets them hide from larger creatures. The Dune folk gain a +1 bonus to intelligence, a proficiency to deception, and dust shield, which is a special film that protects their eyes from sand and dust, granting them advantage to saving throws against being blinded. The Makote are humans that share cat-like features such as cat ears, tails, fangs, and a large desire for their independence. They used to avoid other races, but they have begun integrating with society over the years. The Makote have separated into 2 tribes, each following a different social hierarchy and lifestyle. The Seekers of the Sun are found across the world, living in warmer areas and cities, or hanging out in the deserts with their male-dominated tribes. The Keepers of the Moon stick to the dense forests, adopting a matriarchal society of their own. The Seekers are more open to the idea of adventure than the Keepers, who will rise to the occasion if their families or their land are in peril. For traits, it's easy to compare the Makote to the Tabaxi. They both gain a +2 bonus to dexterity, a proficiency to perception, similar speed and lifespan, and dark vision. While the Tabaxi have more cat-like features, like cat's claws and cat's talon, the Makote gain extra features with their subraces. The Seekers of the Sun get a +1 bonus to their charisma, a proficiency to athletics, and a walking speed of 35 feet. The Keepers of the Moon get a +1 to wisdom and the feature tenacity, which lets them stay at 1 hit point when reduced to 0 hit points. The ROEGADYN are a towering race of sailors and warriors, living fearless lives and charging at every challenge against them. They are a large and proud race, with distinctive features like bluish skin and large flat noses. The ROEGADYN are separated into 2 communities. The Sea Wolves are the ROEGADYN that live on the sea, either as a naval soldier, a mercenary, or maybe a pirate. The Hellsguard are the ones that moved inland towards the volcanoes and mountains, as they believe it's a sacred location of the afterlife and are willing to defend it from the supernatural. If there is a call to action, the ROEGADYN will rise to it, no matter the cause or cost. The ROEGADYN's traits reflect their physical prowess and courageous demeanor. They get a +2 bonus to Constitution, advantage on saving throws against being frightened, and a powerful build, which lets them count as 1 size larger when they are lifting, pushing, or carrying. The Sea Wolves get a +1 bonus to Strength, advantage on swimming checks, and an additional hit point every time they level up. The Hellsguard get a +1 bonus to Charisma, a proficiency to Arcana, and a small selection of spells, including Burning Hands and Heat Metal. The final race are the mysterious VIERA, a clan of rabbit-like humans that shun society and protect the woods that they call their home. Gender determines the roles of the VIERA, with the males living independent, lonely lives that guard the forest from outsiders, and the females stay behind to protect their communities and the young. The VIERA are separated into 2 clans. The Vina are taller VIERA with darker skin, proficient in patrolling the jungles without being seen. The Rava are shorter VIERA, with less striking features that make them easier to blend in with the outside world if they leave their forest. Regardless of the clan, they live strict laws that prevent them from interacting with the outside world, but there are those that can't refuse the larger world around them, pulling them away from their homes and throwing them into a new and exciting adventure. For traits, the VIERA get a +2 bonus to dexterity, an increase to jumping height and speed, and the Lucky and Mask of the Wild features. They also receive the feature Speak with Small Beasts, which lets them communicate to small or smaller creatures through sounds and gestures. The Vina get a +1 bonus to Wisdom, and a proficiency to Intimidate, while the Rava get a +1 bonus to Intelligence, and a proficiency to Persuasion. In addition to creating the races and classes from Final Fantasy XIV for 5th edition use, They also created some new spells inspired from the game for us to add to our spell books. In total, there are 14 new spells to learn, 1 cantrip, 1 first level spell, 6 4th level spells, 4 5th level spells, 1 8th level spell, and 1 9th level spell. Some of these spells include Collective Unconsciousness, which lets you create a magical healing barrier that heals your allies and gives them a +1 bonus to their AC, and Holy, which summons an orb of radiant energy above you, dealing damage to nearby enemies and stunning them. Size, a 5th level evocation spell, is a unique spell, as it lets you unleash an energy wave that heals your allies and deals damage to all foes. If you want healing and AoE spells, then I would recommend taking a look at the spells that can be found in the world of Eorzea. And with that, those are the races and spells of Final Fantasy XIV. I may know nothing about this game, but I'm excited to see what this game and lore can add to Dungeons & Dragons. I'll be going over the classes soon, so be on the lookout for those in the future. Let me know in the comments of your thoughts of these races and spells. Are they balanced? What changes would you recommend? Anything like that. The link to this compendium can be found in the description below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe for more homebrew content and other things Rabid People. Till next time, bye.